Hey everyone, it's yours Cuddly, Kitwana. Yes, it is still yours Cuddly, Kitwana. It's been a long time since we saw us the last time on an episode of Kitwana's Toys. And as you can see, I've grown a little, I've got a darker mane, a darker fur. But that's what happens with us lions when we get older. And what you can also see is that we are in other location for this episode of Kitwana's Toys, because I'm on the road. I have been to Breyerfest 2019 yesterday, my first ever Breyerfest here in Lexington, Kentucky, and this is my entire haul that we are going to look at it today. We're going to unbox them all and take a look at the models that I got there. I was a 3-day ticket holder, so we have 2 special runs to look at, and I've got some more at the official Breyer store and at the Visitor Center souvenir store. Fantastic models which I want to introduce you now to, and let's get started with our first model. It will be the 2019 celebration model with everyone with a 3-day ticket receives. And this year the theme has been a salute to horse heroes, and what better hero than Oliver, who serves with the Kentucky Horse Park Police. I've actually been able to meet him, and this is a super big boy, a big model, and I think the model does this very well. It's translated very well into the model. So let's unbox him, and then the other ones as well. Alright, and here we've got Oliver out of the box. And look at this huge model. He really is a big and heavy boy. It's like the real Oliver. And he's got a super calm personality. He doesn't mind to be around people. In fact, he loves it a lot. That's a beautiful horse that's just made for the duties as a police horse. And you can see the coloring is very nice. It's very accurate. Wow, this is a super awesome celebration model. Getting him was fairly easy. I arrived at around 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, and there was no line for the model handout window, so I was able to walk right up and got him in like just a few seconds. It was awesome because it's been a really hot day out in the Kentucky Horse Park, so I was glad for every minute I didn't have to stand in line somewhere. But of course, for a couple of models it was worth being out in the heat. And after I got Oliver, I decided to get in line for the official Breyer store. It had quite a bit of a line. I got in line at 11:09 a.m. and I was able to enter the store by 11:50. So it took me about a good 40 minutes in line, and In the store, I got two models. One of them is Hal, being super excited for this one, and thankfully they stocked plenty of them. I've heard people telling me, oh, it will be sold out before you can even look at it, but that wasn't the case. They stocked plenty of them. When I was there Saturday at around noon, was no problem getting Hal. Okay, and before I show you Hal in detail, here's a little tip, especially if you're a newbie Breyer collector. I always cut out the cardboard box backing, which has usually a very interesting story about the real life version of the model on it. And the story of Hal is particularly nice and touching, so I invite you to read it here or look it up online. It's just amazing how Hal and his trainer Jonathan Field have bonded together over time. Just like Oliver, he's got the Breyerfest 2019 stamp on his belly, 30th anniversary. Can't believe this event has been happening for so long now, and look at the muscles and the shading. It's just lovely, and I love the mold it's on. The tail's got some lovely coloring, and that face is just too cute. I hope you can see it well. Wow. And this wasn't the only horse that I got in the official Breyer store, because they also had the horse where we are now, Kentucky. Another beautiful model that's just got released. Trained and ridden by famous show jumper Vicky Wilson, all the way from New Zealand. Okay, and my first thought when I was deboxing Kentucky is that this is a horse that just waits to be customized. Take a look at these lovely pictures here. I think I definitely can't wait to add tack and hopefully find a doll that matches Vicky Wilson, because that would be really a great custom. Take a look at this lighter coloring. It's very unique. It's got a lovely white spot at the beginning of its tail, and I really like how she holds her, how he holds its head. And now it's time to look at the special run models. So a premiere this year was that people who ordered the 3-day tickets online were able to choose from a time slot, and thus that allowed for a much better pre-planning of your Breyerfest visit. And I chose Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. It turned out to be a fantastic time slot.
Alright, I'm gonna say it again. Work together. If you can't hear me, talk to your neighbor.
What if you can't hear your neighbor?
And ask your other neighbor. Hopefully you have multiple neighbors.
When I got there, the number drawn was
230.
and my ticket was number 304, so I only had like 70 people ahead of me. And the line moved pretty fast, so 3 minutes after number 230 was let into the special run store, I was able to go off as well, and with great pleasure I found out that all the models were still available in my time slot, since I was one of the first guests to be allowed in for that hour. And I am super happy. My favorite model from this haul, not only from the special runs, but for this entire haul, I was able to secure Diana. I really dreamed about her and hoped so much that I would be able to secure her, because I love the Roxy mold so much. I already got Don't Look Twice in my collection, and this is the first glossy version of this mold that I was able to secure. And I mean, look at that pose. He's like he's ready for action. And a lovely face. And what you can also see, if I turn her around from this side, getting close to the camera, is that I got the braided mane and tail version. Apparently there's several versions of her out there, so I'm curious for the other ones, but as you can see, this is the braided version, and I think it looks super cute. Now this will be very treasured in my collection, and she will look just awesome on myself. So happy that I got Diana. She's really my favorite horse this year. Starlight also, I love her so. I've got a big surprise coming up, because this was this year's surprise model, and it was like a bunch of 5 or 6 different colors, if I remember correctly, including some non-realistic ones, but I am pretty happy I got a realistic color looking like an Andalusian. And take a look at this super cool model. It doesn't have a name. I'll probably name it at some point, but super happy with what I got. I did set my eyes on Rocket as well, but then I decided to just try my luck for the surprise model as my other special run model, and I think it was definitely worth. Look at the tail, at the flowing tail with the white ends, and face is so cute. Wow, this is a stunning model. It's absolutely stunning, and another glossy one, of course. And I think this will skyrocket in value pretty soon. But no, I'm not selling it either. I'm keeping it. And this is probably the biggest treasure I'll take home from this year's Breyerfest. I Look at that, the flowing mane, the flowing tail, and that lovely, lovely face. So incredibly cute. Oh. And after the special run thing was over, it was almost 2 p.m. and it was getting really, really hot. It was 97 degrees out there. I needed a bit of air conditioning, and I ducked into the huge store at the visitor center of the Kentucky Horse Park, where I found Thunder. If you are an NFL football fan, this is probably a familiar face to you, especially if you are a fan of the Denver Broncos, because it's their team mascot. You can see Thunder at every home game of the Broncos. This horse leads the players out of the tunnel just before game time, and whenever the Broncos score a touchdown, you can see Thunder thundering down the field. And as you can see on the back, 3 different horses have portrayed Thunder so far. With the current one is me and my shadow, born in 2000, and look how shimmering this is. There's only so much you can do with the white horse, but still it looks pretty fabulous. So let's get this guy out of its box as well. And here we've got Thunder looking ever so shiny and cute in front of a lovely Colorado landscape that looks a lot like the landscape in my beautiful home country, Switzerland. Sadly, I've never been to Colorado. It's definitely on my to-do list, and when I get there, maybe I will indeed see Thunder thundering down the field whenever the Broncos score a touchdown. And what I did find a bit awkward is the mold they selected for this. I mean, this horse does mainly mascot taps, and this doesn't look like a typical pose for that. But on the other hand, what they got right is how lovely the mane loops around one of its ears. You can see that very well on the packaging. There's a photograph on the side panel of the packaging that shows exactly this unique feature. And this is a wonderful Arabian horse. Look at the tail, the flying tail. Since I, of course, love mascotting, be it in a costumed or real-life version, and Thunder is certainly a worthy mascot for the Broncos. And what I also got in the visitor center store was 2 dolls. I think I'm going to keep them in the package for now, and to transport them home safely so the clothes won't get dirty. And here we've got Ryan. Awesome to see that they did a male character. Probably can use him on one of my show jumping horses. And the other one is Michaela. But of course, still no doll that I could use as Wiki Wilson, which I really want to do on Kentucky. But I saw Breyer has a lot of dolls available, so I think I should be fine in the future. I think their faces are really great. I see that the female one, that Michaela, even got real hairs. Well, the Ryan character does not, but he's super cute. Anyway, I really love the outfit, love the colors that they used. And these are fantastic additions to my traditional scale collection. And we're already at our last model. This one is the Fighting Stallion from 1993 that was sold at Toys R Us. About 6,000 pieces of him exist. This one I got at the vendor marketplace inside the covered arena. Even though it was in the shade, it was pretty hot and uncomfortable, and too many people, way too many people on Saturday afternoon wandering the booths there. But I did find a model that I really like. Well, actually it was so overwhelming I could have bought them all, but this one was one of the ones that was in good shape and with $50. Not too bad, pretty affordable. I really like how Breyer always creates new molds in a pretty creative way. This horse actually stands on its tail and its rear legs, and it does that pretty good. It stands pretty well. So you see, even on this slightly uneven surface, it does a pretty good job of standing up, and this will tower over my collection on my shelf very nicely. Let's take a look at him. Lovely face, 4 white socks, and it's in very good condition. Here we go. I love the white part on its face. It's almost like glossy. I love how the mane has been done, and I really love that I finally got a rearing horse. I've been missing it from my collection until today. So finally I got one. Before I let you go, I've got 3 more things to say. First, a huge thank you to my furry friend TK, Troublesome Kitty, and her husband Brian, who have driven me out to the horse park and showed me around, and even before that provided me with many good helpful tips regarding the model horse collecting hobby, and especially Breyer horses. So they made sure that I was off to a good start, and I'm really thankful for them that they've spent the day with me yesterday. And the second thing I noticed is I was really pleasantly surprised. I did not only see many girls collecting and playing with these toys, but there was also quite a few boys. And that really inspired me and made me smile, because my take is toys are toys and they are meant to be enjoyed by everyone. And I was super happy to see boys at the model horse show back in the Old Tech Arena, as well as a couple boys who were with me, next to me, while I was waiting in the shade for the special run line. I did see one boy, you can see here in the video, looking at his model horse, and apparently be very proud of it. And this is so great to see. I mean, I really encourage you, no matter what gender you are, no matter what age, play with the toys you like. No matter what society says, just do what you love and be proud of it, and most of all, be you. And the third thing is, Before I let you go, you've already seen some footage of Breyerfest throughout this video. Before I let you go, I'll include some more impressions of a super hot but super fun Breyerfest. It was amazing to see not only the models but the real life horses that inspired them, and it was so cute. You were able to go to walk along the stables and take some photos and even pet most of the horses and talk to the owners. And it was really nice to see. I also really loved to see how the kids had a lot of fun around these animals. I mean, who doesn't love horses? I mean, it's around the world a beloved animal. And I also was also impressed how well organized everything was, even though I had to stand in line twice, once for the Breyer store and then for the special run line. Everything was very well organized, and I always knew what I had to do. Back take lines went very fine, and there was always plenty of water available as well, and I really like the water misting fence. So Breyer does a very good job of making sure that people are safe out there in almost 100-degree conditions. That was a bit of a drawback. The heat without any clouds, without any rain yesterday. It got really, really hot when I left at 5 p.m. It was 97 degrees. So I was glad when I finally was able to return here to the hotel room. And actually the fourth thing that really impressed me was the model horse sales at the Clarion. I think this is, I do not know of any other convention that sells things out of hotel rooms. I mean, you were able to walk into the Clarion and most people had their room door open, and you were able to get in and come and look at things and do business or just browse around for that rare model that you've always been looking for. Sadly, I got like 3 heavy bags and it was hot, even though the rooms were air conditioned very nicely, but I was exhausted from the heat out at the horse park, so I didn't buy anything at the Clarion. But I must say, those people there are really, really dedicated to the hobby, and it was very impressive to see how everyone was very welcoming, and they set up entire store shelves in their hotel rooms, and I think it's amazing that also from the hotel that they allow this even. So this is amazing. If you ever have the chance to fly to Breyerfest, if you love horses, then you will love Breyerfest absolutely, even if you do not collect their models. There's so much to see. I've only saw a tiny fraction of it. I would have loved to see the museums as well, and lots of other stuff, but hey, it's a good reason to come back, and I definitely will come back in the future for Breyerfest. Maybe not every year because of the heat and everything, but I definitely will be back at Breyerfest. Can't wait to return. And with that, that was it from this episode of Kitwana's Toys. I'm going to line up all the unpacked models again up here and provide you one last shot of them. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next episode of Kitwana's Toys. Goodbye.